Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
Double 11 is like China's Black Friday, but on a whole other level. What are the trends shaking up our virtual shopping carts this time around? And we're on a special mission of starting your week with the motivational kick. Our Motivational Monday offerings will get you ready to tackle the week. Coming to you live from Beijing, this is Roundtable. I'm He Young. For today's program, I'm joined by Steve Hatherley and Fei Fei in the studio. First on today's show, Double 11, which occurs on November 11th, is not just any shopping event. It is the biggest online shopping frenzy in China every year. This time, vendors are going all out with promotions spanning almost an entire month and enticing vouchers to reel us in. Chinese online shoppers are stepping up too with a strong demand for high-quality, innovative, and tech-savvy products. 15 years on from its inception, it is more than just an online shopping blitz. It's a tradition. So what does Double 11 mean to us now? And what new consumer trends are emerging as we shop our way through this year's mega event? So we have some figures coming in from this Double 11 shopping festival, which have turned from one day to a period and one platform to all of them, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. For this year, the Double 11 Shopping Festival actually becomes the longest ever in over these 15 years. It lasts about a month. For different platforms. For example, on Alibaba, it lasts for 28 days, but on JD.com, it's 33 days. And on, for example, Xiaohongshu, it lasts for 30 days. So it starts relatively a lot earlier than before. So when it comes to how much have people sold or buy online, according to big data provider, as of October the 30th, the cumulative sales revenue of this year's Double 11 Shopping Festival has reached over $110 billion US dollars across the entire network. So combining Tmall, JD.com, and Xiaohongshu.
And that's merely the first leg of the promotional journey. And then in November, there are going to be some big figures coming in that wouldn't necessarily be a surprise anymore. And Steve, you're new to the country.
Yes.
And you're the most excited in the office so far by the look of it.
Because in Canada, we have Black Friday, right? And in the United States, they have Black Friday.
Could you also say a little bit more about Black Friday?
Oh, sure. Black Friday has been around for a very long time in the United States. It goes back to, goodness, I think the 1920s is when it officially kicked off. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Macy's is a department store, and they have a big parade every single year. So back in 1924, for that parade and then the Thanksgiving holiday, right after that was the unofficial beginning of the busy holiday shopping season in America. And that term, if you're wondering where it came from, Black Friday, that goes back to the 1960s, and it refers to stores moving from the red to the black, because back in times when accounting records were kept by hand with a pen on paper, red ink indicated a loss and black ink indicated a profit. So Black Friday. That's where it comes from. Anyway, if you watch the news in the States or in Canada around Black Friday times, I mean, people go absolutely crazy, right? People line up outside stores for hours, if not overnight. Media reports on it every single year about the crowds and how exciting it is. And so I woke up this morning, thinking, there's going to be lineups in front of stores everywhere. And I came to work and I said, whoa, shopping day. And everybody in the office was like, whatever.
So Black Friday is only one day.
Yes.
And it kicks off the Christmas shopping period in the West.
Correct. And then they have Cyber Monday, which is the Monday that follows that. And they say Black Friday is for certain items you can get great deals, and then Cyber Monday for other things like household goods, like makeup and clothing and stuff like that. So I guess there's two different days that people focus on. But yes, to answer your question, it is the official beginning of the holiday season.
Right. And here, well, don't I suppose the merchants, it would be a sight for sore eyes if they can see people line up in front of their stores. But in China, this shopping frenzy we're talking about that occurs every November 11th is only online. Maybe it's got a little bit of a spillover effect to some offline stores. But the main action happens virtually. And we're seeing a lot of these figures. One thing that really stood out to me is this year a lot of people are going online to shop for digital goods. And Apple apparently has sold more than 1 billion yuan of goods within 5 minutes on Tmall.
Wow.
That's just one platform.
Wow.
And also there are some of the other, I suppose, highlights that Fei you might like to share with us.
Yeah, it's quite surprising to see Apple's products over this period as well, because I remember when I used to shop during Double 11 before, and Apple only offers like 50 kuai off, which is nothing compared to the total price. So it's never been a period for digital products to sort of promote themselves. And then right now, we are also seeing a lot of live streamings happening on all e-commerce platforms, not only on Taobao or Tmall, but also on JD.com, on Xiaohongshu, on TikTok as well. As I think they're really helpful in a way that the hosts, what we call them, the live streamers, would explain all the different promotional campaigns to the consumers and also sort of tell them when is the best time to place an order, because we're talking about a 30-day of event so far, and this really can be confusing sometime with all the different campaigns and vouchers and subsidies and when you can use what vouchers and when to place that order. So I think these live streamings really help for people to understand when is the best time to place the order.
Well, yes, and I'm going to be asking for as much advice as I can get about where to go and what I should be buying. I'm excited. I want to buy something. I just don't know what I'm supposed to be buying, and I don't know where I'm supposed to be buying it. Online seems to be, from what you've been saying so far, the place to go. You talked about Apple's products exceeding 1 billion won in 5 minutes. You say that's surprising, the amount, considering the amount of discounts that they give? Not really. And actually, Huawei and other local domestic smartphone brands, Xiaomi and Vivo, they all surpassed 100 million yuan in the first few hours of their promotional event. Not really surprising because we talked about it on Roundtable, the big launch. Apple and Huawei had their new products launched not so long ago, so that buzz, I think, is still in the air, and maybe people were waiting for this time so they could get the discounts, albeit them small in some cases, I guess.
And also live stream is huge. That's a main sales tactic and avenue in this country, and we've seen more than 1 million yuan worth of goods being sold within a very short period during the first leg of the promotional period of this big shopping spree, which ends at the 1st of November. And also, you asked about where to go to buy different goods. Well, we mentioned Taobao and Tmall, and these are Alibaba affiliated, very vibrant online marketplaces, and also JD.com. That is huge for electronics.
Yes.
And oh, Fei, you are the expert in really getting the vouchers in and also really seizing the opportunity on subsidies this year.
Okay, please explain both of those things, vouchers and subsidies, because when you go shopping on Black Friday in the States or in Canada, you'll see minus 30%, minus 40%, minus 50%. Is it not advertised that way? I've been on the apps in the last few days kind of looking for that giant like minus 75% sign, but I haven't seen it just yet. So
it works differently here.
Yes, very different. So when it comes to, for example, promotional campaigns, like different platforms have their own different vouchers. For example, on Tmall, you can collect your vouchers on that platform and you can use that vouchers when you place your orders on Tmall. And then these vouchers is sort of subsidized by the platforms themselves. And then at the same time, especially for this year, I think is also one of the highlights is that the government is also pushing out, promoting subsidies funded by the government as well. So you can also claim some of the wasn't coupons or vouchers at the same time.
I was going to say, what's a voucher? Is that like an online discount coupon?
Sort of. So when you place your orders, they will automatically, make that discount in your total amount. So you don't really have to think about it, but you definitely need to collect them because there are only some of them. There are so many different ones. Some of them are only out on a certain time of the day, and the amounts are also very different. Some of them is like you can have 400 kwai off when you made that purchase more than I'm really fussy on the detail, 2,000 or 5,000 kwai total. Or other times you can enjoy like 20% off. Or other times you can place orders during the live streaming, so you can enjoy a very limited time discount only during when you place the order within the period of the live stream.
Okay.
So it's very confusing.
Right. Well, but it's confusing for everyone unless you're a mathematician. But also, Feifei is such a different shopper than, I suppose, people like me who are kind of okay, no, other people are fine, but I'm sort of like a dummy when it comes to numbers. And therefore, I don't even wait for those special vouchers, special time period of promotional announcements whatsoever. I know they add on, and then, at the end of the day, you're supposed to get a bigger discount. I just go for the basics because I'm kind of just busy with other stuff, and therefore, I just throw in stuff that I don't need that urgently, but throughout the last few months, I'm like, sure, I could get this later. Throw it into the shopping cart, and then I just wait until, okay, now it's the promotional period, and I check again and see, sometimes there are price fluctuations, markdowns, or whatnot, and then they add on, and then I just wait for the main thing, which is once the price accumulates to, let's say, 300 or 400 yuan, and that's like a benchmark because immediately you get a certain amount off. So 300 yuan, for example, you get 30 yuan off. 400, you get, 40 off, and then I just go for that. But there you go. You've got like really professional shoppers like Feifei, who's there, who she knows all the other stuff that's going on. But yeah, it can be a little confusing, but it's also, in my little kind of not very sophisticated mind when it comes to this stuff, I'm still getting a good bargain, I suppose. But some people say that you need to look for the special subsidies, for example, when it comes to electronics, because this year we're seeing that there are this major promotional sort of guidance policies rolling out from the top. That is, if, let's say, you replace an older home appliance device with a new one, then that old one is qualified for a markdown or a subsidy.
It has trade-in value.
Yes.
Yes.
So therefore, you get that as well. And when Feifei and I chatted about some of the, maybe we don't want to go that personal, but but she's got this big item, and she's calculated the subsidy and then the voucher on top of voucher, and then you get a really substantial markdown on a brand new
refrigerator.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's exciting.
So my old fridge is like 10 years old now. So I wasn't thinking about, changing a new one. But my friend told me, you have pretty good deal right now. Why not just, buy a new one? And then I went on to one of the platforms, and they have this government funded subsidies, which is about 20% off. And then at the same time, I can have my trade-ins. So if I place the order on that platform, I can enjoy about 100 kwai off.
Pretty good.
And then they can take out my old fridge and also send the new, deliver the new one to my home.
Good service too. So they take your fridge. You're not responsible for delivering it to them or the disposal
They'll just,
of that?
It's
Wow.
like a one-stop service. So it's quite convenient. And also I enjoy about 2,000 to 3,000 kwai off my fridge. So I'm pumped to...
Well, good for
Let's
you.
name this segment of Roundtable Feifei's new fridge.
And you know what? A lot of new trends are emerging this year at Double 11 because it seems like there are just, some new interests when it comes to shopping, and also just given that it's getting cold now, and there's a whole economy that's sort of revolving around the weather, about warm clothing, and all these little sweet and smart designs just to keep us warm and all that good stuff. So let's get into it. The new trends of shopping this Double 11.
Yeah, so more than 60% of consumers say they would pay attention to warm clothing because of course, winter's coming. Well, winter has come. And the transaction of, for example, down jacket and snow boots increased over 50% year on year. And at the same time, consumers are looking for something thin and also warm at the same time. So when it comes to high-tech thermal pants or thermal vests, their transaction actually jumped 70% year on year, or even over 100% year on year. And also a lot of them are also buying hot food. For example, online food delivery orders of warm dishes also increased. So, it's winter. People want some of the comfort and warmth by clothing and also food as well.
Yeah, the stew dishes, the search volume of clay pot dishes. Clay pots are where you'll find those hot stews, which are wonderful for colder weather. That increased 294.2% year on year. Food delivery orders, interestingly, go up year over year as well, 130%. So more people ordering their food online as well. It makes sense. The weather's getting colder. People are searching for that. We call them long johns in English. That long underpants, long underwear when the weather gets really cold. The down jackets, the padded jackets. And I think what you were talking about before, Huyang, is something that a lot of people do in the West as well. They know that the day is coming where they'll buy their stuff for winter, and they'll just put it in the cart, like you said, and they'll just leave it until the time arrives, and then they'll do the purchasing at that time. That's why the sales numbers are usually pretty big around this time of year. And it's all the same stuff people are buying in America and Canada too. Oh, especially in Canada with the winter coming. Yeah. Down padded jackets and thermal underwear and heavy socks and turtlenecks and all that stuff.
It can get really cold in Canada,
Of
right?
course,
Like
yeah.
knee-high snow and
Depending
that kind
on where you are, yeah.
All right. And you know what? If we're getting into the nitty-gritty of shopping, and I sense this to be sort of a welcome change in recent years. I remember a few years ago on the show, we talked about, those vendors online, bad. They essentially mark up prices ahead of Double 11 and then mark it down later and say, you enjoy a huge discount. But that's the result of you actually pricing it up earlier on, and we get the short end of the bargain.
Yeah.
You know what? That doesn't seem to happen often anymore, because now on these platforms there is that function of, once you put your the goods that you want to buy into the shopping cart, and then it immediately logs it in, and therefore if there's a markdown or markup, you'll see the notification.
You still get it.
No, you'll see how much cheaper.
Okay,
or more expensive, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. You'll see the price fluctuation, and that is useful for people. And I guess, as time goes on, there are definitely some of these evolution that's happening with the platforms, the vendors, as well as the shoppers, because we become smarter with the different schemes and tactics that we can employ just to make this shopping more of an enjoyable experience, and most importantly, to get the cheap but good products.
Cheap and good stuff, yeah.
If that's possible.
And you want to save as much money as you can. I found this to be interesting. According to a report, 52% of consumers were spending money on improving their looks. So during this season, taking care of how you look is also important to people. Things like hair care, body care, facial packs, things like that. And also there's a blurring of the boundary between the younger people and the older people. 41% of respondents realized that more and more elderly people are pursuing the same trendy and fashionable lifestyle as young people. I love that, that older people are caring more about fashion these days. So they're adding those types of things to their shopping carts, and it's really kind of changing the attitudes perhaps of the elderly, or at least what they want to do with their money around this time of year.
Yes, and also at the same time, a lot of people are purchasing to sort of give a boost to their emotions, to have a positivity. For example, a lot of them, over half of the consumers, love to buy stuffed toys, which is very surprising. It's not only for children, but also for young people. And also the same is happening with, say, green plants. That to make that purchase, or gaming hobbies that sort of make your life better and happier, give you a dose of positivity in your daily life. Kind of happening the same way with purchasing warm clothing or hot food as well. And then at the same time, a lot of people start to choose AI products. I guess AI is definitely hot in recent years. People are buying AI phones, AI laptops, and some of them are also purchasing, I think, 4K projectors. I haven't really bought those gadgets myself, so I'm not really sure how it works. But apparently it's very hot on the market at the moment, using AI and how to buying AI-related products.
Yeah.
It's a big time of year for game stations, video games. It's always one of the hottest things that sells around the world where this type of shopping day exists. And if you're wondering how people were feeling about the shopping day or the shopping period this time, according to a Xinjiang Daily report that came out late in October, more than 90% of people expressed a clear intention to consume during the Double 11 period. 36% of consumers felt that this year's Singles Day has moved earlier quite a bit, and they've already purchased some of what they would have bought maybe a little bit later in the year. And I guess that speaks to how long the period is, right? Is that it's not just one particular day where
It's
people...
a month.
Yeah, so people don't feel pressured to get all of their shopping done at the same time. But according to that report, people did do their shopping a little bit earlier than they would have, perhaps in another year.
I suppose there could be multiple ways to look into that phenomenon. One is, we all know that there is this big shopping frenzy day coming up, and that's Double 11, and therefore... just shop that day, early or later, whatever it is, that day is around the corner, and therefore place your order. We know that. And that's just part of our sort of psyche of shopping online for Chinese consumers. Well, it speaks volumes to, I guess, also how successful the companies have managed, especially Alibaba, to sort of really make this into a shopping event, period. And then second of all, is a thought that has completely escaped my mind, and I'll see if I can come back to it. But guys, I'm curious to know from you. What does this mean 15 years down the line? It is not something unfamiliar for Chinese online shoppers anymore. And as I've kind of insinuated, now this is what we plan into our year and shopping. There's the June 18th shopping day of JD.com, and there's also this Taobao, Alibaba, Double 11, and there are these things along the shopping calendar. And what do you say today? What does it mean to us?
Well, I think for shoppers, people is getting less excited when it comes to Double 11 specifically because it happens 15 years. And then at the same time, I think it's sort of changed people's habits of consumption as well. Is that you want to plan your year around these shopping festivals and also sale periods as well. So it's like He Yang just described, just save it till the day come.
Yes, indeed. And this is definitely one of the days that we look at sales figures, and also we look at consumer behaviors as well.